Hi everyone, my name is Lauren Garbett and I graduated from Walpole High School, as some of you may know. I go to UNH currently and I'm studying Homeland Security and Justice Studies. It's a great major, I love it. And I'm looking forward to talking to you guys about the high school to college transition and ways it can improve. So you might be wondering why I came back to Walpole High School to talk. The main thing is I want to spread awareness about the challenges throughout this huge transition. It's not like what most people share when talking about college, because obviously they want to share the highlights with you. They don't want to scare people into thinking, oh, well, this is not so good or whatever. And you don't want to be scared going into college. So in reality, it's better to hear the ups and downs, and I definitely learned that, because then you know you're not alone. Second thing, I really want to help students. My goal in doing this is to really help you. You guys can learn from my mistakes and experiences, and it's really nice to talk, especially with familiar faces at Walpole High. I'm not talking to random people. And Walpole High definitely prepared me well in different areas, especially with the amount of electives we had. I definitely appreciated that. When I got to college, I could narrow down what discoveries I wanted to take, which was great, because there's a million. And also looking back, I do really appreciate the seminars guidance held. Those were beneficial and reassuring that we weren't alone during the process. As a senior, this became definitely a little repetitive, because it was obviously senioritis was kicking in, and I would kind of brush past, oh, this thing, I'll know, I'll get back to it, I'll refer back to it when I'm in college, I'm not there yet. But looking back, it's definitely beneficial, and I'm glad that we had those. And lastly, I learned a lot about myself and about life from freshman year already, so I can't even imagine what senior year is going to be like. It's going to be crazy. Also, I had a meeting with the UNH Chief of Police and other representatives about improving the transition from high school to college. This is an extra credit assignment. I'll get into that in the next slide. So improving the transition from high school to college in the meeting I attended at the UNH Police Department. This is a little bit about it, so you get an idea of what it was like. This meeting was assigned as an extra credit for my corporate security class project. So my professor is the chief of police at UNH, really cool, tells a lot of stories, it's awesome. The inside scoop of UNH, so we get a little insight. His goal was to gather information on ways the college and high schools can improve the transition for students. Really important. 5 other students were supposed to show up and they never did. So it was just me and these representatives. As you can definitely imagine, it was a little stressful walking in there, because I thought I'd have people to bounce off of and other student perspectives, but that wasn't the case. And these representatives and the chief relied a lot on my perspective as a college freshman, so it was definitely a little more pressure. And definitely inspired me to come and present here today too, because I realized after sharing a lot for 2 hours long, it's really beneficial to go out and share the reality of college and my experiences with high schoolers. And so because of this meeting, I have an invite to a conference they hold at New Hampshire high schools, and they need college students' perspectives as well. And definitely something my high school self could not picture me doing. Definitely was amazing to talk with these representatives, gave me insight into things I didn't even think of. And their goals are to improve the high school, work with the high schools and improving what they can do to better that. And so on the slide, there's a list of the representatives in the meeting and their backgrounds, so that's definitely really cool. And yeah, it was a great experience, and they were definitely very shocked that I shared all of that, and I was too. I was shocked with myself, so it was really great. And definitely another thing that I added on the slide was definitely look up the Jesse Lewis Choose Love movement when you get a chance. It's a great nonprofit. One of the representatives, Shannon, she's an director of advocacy for that movement. I won't get into it now, but it's definitely really cool. So I put some little gifts up there, what I've learned so far, and not in any particular order. If you want to read some of those pictures before I get into the next slides, feel free. So yeah. So number one, get involved in some way, shape, or form, and why. You maybe preach this, but it is really important. I did not get involved in the school first semester, and because I focus on like finding my people, in reality, getting involved is a really good way to find people. And I was definitely following my high school guide as a high school self as a guide. In a lot of ways, like I'd be like, oh, well, I didn't do this in high school. Like maybe I should play this or this sport or do this club because I did it in like. I definitely followed that high school self, and I learned that things take time, and like little did I know I was going to learn all this stuff about myself and join some amazing clubs that I didn't take part in high school at all. So one of the ways that I put on here is you can definitely get a sense of belonging in your school, find new things you're interested in, and it really gets you out of your comfort zone. And I've learned a tremendous amount about myself that I didn't think I would ever learn. And studies have been done at the University of Michigan that show that students who get involved more are likely to graduate, feel more connected in the campus, like with the people, and are more familiar with the resources. I definitely find that true. And involved students also report higher levels of satisfaction in their college experience. So it couldn't get better than that. I was definitely overwhelmed with the amount of clubs, and as many of you guys will be too, it's definitely overwhelming when you hear like a list of all these clubs, like, oh, what's this, what's this, what's this, like what the heck is this club, like I've never heard of that. But I definitely heard more from word of mouth, like from upperclassmen that have had really good experiences, and I really jumped on that and got motivation to get more involved. Second semester, which you will find sometimes it's easier you learn a lot from first semester and then you carry it over into second semester. I felt like I belonged more getting involved, and it gave me a sense of, wow, like this is available, and like this is my school, like this is crazy. And I've met some of my closest friends in college from getting involved. And what do, you might be wondering? I joined Charge, which is a national organization that is empowering wellness community. There's socials, definitely a lot of networks from upperclassmen, weekly workout classes, which I tried Zumba for the first time, very cool, and I learned that I love it. So that's a new thing. I'm also on 3 committees, and I love helping out. It's a great organization, and like I said, I found some of my closest friends from it, so it's definitely been really meaningful to me. And the committees I joined were D&I committee, diversity and inclusion, social committee, and membership committee. So I have a say in helping this club, and that really has helped my confidence a lot in college. And then, like I like to always say, like one thing leads to another. I was really satisfied with this experience, so I started to get involved with more clubs. I joined one for my major specifically. I'm a dual major, so Homeland Security and Justice Studies. And I joined the Justice Studies Club, and that's another resume builder, and I get a lot of insight on pathways I can take with my major, and like-minded people and people that are in the same classes as me, all that stuff. And then I also joined intramural sports with friends. I remember on the tour going into UNH, like I was like, oh, like I feel like this might be weird, or like I did sports in high school. And then I had like knee injuries, all that. But I ended up finding like fun sports to do like with my friends that also played that sport in high school. So it was really great to not play on like a D1 level, obviously. But I played intramural volleyball, and my friends also dragged me into it, intramural soccer, futsal, and some of my guy friends signed me up for this dodgeball team, and it actually was an amazing experience. And then now currently I'm playing intramural basketball. And I've also not only gone in with my friends, but also met some really amazing like-minded people, and more connections and faces on campus that you can notice, because there's a lot of people on campus. And then I also joined the Portsmouth Police Cadet Academy and have grown a lot from doing that. It will help my major in the long run. Leadership, all of that. I won't get into it now, it's a lot, but, and then another reason why to get involved, it gives you something to look forward to. For example, like sports games, hockey, like have pride in your school. Like honestly, it's the best thing to do. Me and my friends went to all the hockey games at UNH. So much fun, great school spirit. Like we learned, like, or not learned, but it was just really great overall. And then my biggest advice from this slide is definitely go to the fairs, interest meetings, and put yourself on the email list. That's the hugest, like, huge. It is helpful because sometimes I look through and get emails about meetings that look interesting. I went to interest meetings definitely at the beginning of the year and decided some things were just not meant for me. And I just didn't feel like I had the time for it for a semester because like it was definitely a transition. I was adjusting, like seeing what fits for me and like finding my people definitely. And that's really okay. How do you know if you don't try, like, right? And I promise there's something for everyone, even if it doesn't feel like it at first. So these are some of the pictures that I've had throughout my college experience so far. I just included like the clubs, obviously, I just talked about. Some of my friends, they're all up there, amazing people, the Cadet Academy, just things that represent me as a college student right now, the hockey games. I'm also on, that's my committee with the group of people sitting at the table. Those are all upperclassmen, and they've taught me so much. Like it's a great experience. I'm working on a project right now, so it's awesome, and I hope you enjoy that. Number 2, don't be scared to reach out. After a much needed winter break, I always talk about this, I came back and reached out to some of my classmates, peers, and people I could see myself getting close with. I felt like first semester I was definitely scared, nervous, as one is usually, too, because I thought everyone had formed friend groups, and this is a common assumption, and it's definitely not true. I had most of my friends first semester through my roommate. She lives in New Hampshire, so most of her friends went there, and then I just like kind of went through her, which isn't all that bad. I'm still close with them, but it's just I wanted to take my own part in reaching out. All it took was one text to appear in a lunch get-together, and ever since we have hung out all the time, and she introduced me to her friends, and we are all close now. So it really goes to show like reaching out like is a great way to meet new people. Resources on campus, you pay an arm and a leg, literally take advantage. I learned this in freshman seminar, and my tour guide preached this a lot. I love her. We're actually in touch, and I'm planning on being a tour guide, so that's another story. But I've been going to the MAC for math. I've always struggled with math. So to have that is definitely really great, and there's people to help you. Some people just assume college, like, you're kind of on your own, but really, you're not. More likely than not, most freshmen are looking to meet new people and are in the same boat. You never know what connection you might have. Even if you're not a freshman, like if you're a sophomore still adjusting, like that's like junior, senior. Like I have friends that like didn't find their people till junior year. Like it really, everyone's different. This is a big thing. I definitely did not communicate well with my friends and family. First semester, I kind of just told them everything was great. Like I didn't really tell them about my struggles first semester. I was hesitant to tell people because you don't want to make people worry. It definitely makes sense. Like I don't want my parents worrying about me every second. Like it's not ideal. And then I missed my dog on camp, I missed my dog a lot. I would talk with my dog like with my friends, like I would look through pictures, FaceTime my parents to see my dog. And I found on campus they have Pause and Relax. If you're planning on going to UNH, definitely recommend it. It was so much fun and calming. I got to like just pet the dogs, and it was great, great experience. So yeah, on to the next slide. Number 3, definitely set realistic goals for yourself. Kind of made a quote that I kind of came up with. It's kind of funny, but social media might make you have false expectations of college or inspire you to set goals. So true. If you are setting goals, try and set realistic goals for yourself. Know what you can handle. Don't be hard on yourself. This is like literally the biggest transition of your life. It needs to be talked about more. If your standards and goals are set too high, you'll be disappointed. Like me, some of my standards are definitely high. College is trial and error all the time, and that's a quote by me, Lauren Garbett. And then I learned you have to push yourself to reach out to people. I assumed in college it's really easy to make friends. It can be, definitely. However, they won't just come to you. And when I say it can be, like classes, dinner, like clubs, all that, like, or just like family friends, like that can be easy to like connect with them, but it's not always easy. I kind of went into it thinking, oh, my friends are gonna come to me. Like it's so easy to make friends in college. It's not always that way. And then the same applies with professors. When I say that, like, they're actually, you have to reach out to them. They're not gonna just see you in class like suffering and be like, oh, like you have to go to them and really push yourself to do that. And then some little quotes at the bottom. Take some time to read it. It's kind of cringy, but definitely read it. And then on to the next one. We have number 4, utilizing free time wisely. This is the hardest one for me right now. Definitely more difficult than it seems. In high school, most people go from their average 7-hour school day to a sport or work and homework at night on repeat literally every day. And college looks much different. I notice sometimes I do not know what to do with all this free time I have in front of me. Right now I have 2 days off. So as you can imagine, a lot of time to really try and get stuff done. Keep in mind, in college, everyone has different schedules and days where they are busier than others. That is like, my friends have different schedules than me, different majors. Everyone is different on a different route, is what I should say. On time off, most students say that that's their free time. In reality, it should be carved into study time, but it's not always going to be like that. And if you get involved, you'll most likely not have as much free time, but that's a good thing. Still much more than high school, though. Use your time wisely and find out what works best for you. Really take some time for yourself. It's a learning process. It's all new. Like, a lot of people put the pressure on themselves. It's a new environment, new things to learn. Like, really take time for yourself. I really emphasize that. And if you had a job in high school, try and transfer that job to college if you can, to make money. Over breaks, I've been working at Dunkin', and I'm planning on getting a job at the Dunkin' on campus. So it's definitely a huge connection there, and it's an easy way to make money. So we all need money when we're in college. I learned in college I definitely love reading. In high school, I had no interest in reading. So something I learned about myself. It's easy to procrastinate and push assignments back when your professors aren't nagging you. In high school, it's a little different. Like, they will kind of like be like, oh, when are you gonna get this in, or something like that. You really have to push yourself. They are not doing that. As most people, you've probably heard this already, but it's definitely true. And then the Center for Academic Resources can set you up with a mentor to organize your time. This applies to most campuses, I believe. My tour guide is a mentor, so she told me all about it. And I didn't know this was a thing before going to college, so it's great. So number 5, first weeks or months of college. This needs to be talked about more. I really thought I was alone. I was so overwhelmed and did not want to miss out on any opportunity. Like, if someone asked, oh, do you want to go do this, like go to this fair or something, like, and then I'm like thinking in my head, well, I need to go because I need to make friends. And if I don't make friends, like, there's a whole cycle of thoughts going on. It's completely normal. And also, like, I was tired, so I was like, I don't know. But it's normal. I came in with the mindset of imagining what everything was going to be like most people do. It was not quite like everything that I had in my head. Obviously, it's more like a dream. Well, I thought I was alone for a semester. I've talked to my friends from college and from home, and they have felt the exact same way. We just didn't know. We laugh about it now. Looking back, it makes sense. We were all away from home, and this is a big change. It's basically like a turning point, and you need turning points in order to learn. Whether it's the first weeks or months, things take time, and you will definitely find what's right, and this feeling goes away. Everyone is on their own journey. I've said that 10 million times, but it's true. And then these are some quotes that I found online, and they're just take the time to read it. It's kind of funny, but yeah. Number 6, reach out to your professors. They are not scary. That is the biggest misconception of going into college. Most people go into college with the assumption that you are on your own now and professors are only there to teach and not help as much. False. I learned that that is untrue, and I've had some really amazing professors. Luckily, some of my friends haven't had the best professors, but and I've asked questions after, well, I didn't ask questions first semester, but second semester is when I really grew and blossomed into who I am now. And I've asked questions after class. If I didn't feel comfortable in a lecture, like of 130 kids, which makes total sense, or like a smaller class even. Like, it's just you have that assumption that the professor is going to be more scary, not willing to help, like they're focused on their research, but they're really focused on you too. Like, but they just need you to come and talk to them. I specifically talked to my criminology teacher about pathways for my major because I love her class. She's the funniest, like nicest human, and she's so knowledgeable in so many areas, and with experiences and stuff. I booked a meeting with her, which is easy to do, and most professors do it. And she gave great advice. I left that meeting feeling so confident and like great about like my pathway that I've kind of created for myself, which can change. It's only freshman year. We've even more respect for each other. It's definitely mutual now. And in lecture, she has a name to a face, and she like recognizes me. And not only that, I feel much more comfortable raising my hand in lectures. So that's another plus. And yeah. Number 7, try not to compare yourself. Literally everyone is different. Everyone's on a different pathway. It is easy nowadays to compare yourself to your friends, especially with social media. You see the highlights and then you're like, well, I don't have that, or don't. But it can become toxic, especially in college, because everyone is literally living different lives, different friends, different campus, different classes, different major. It goes on and on. Example, I compared myself to my hometown friends because first semester we really only talked about the highlights, and because we didn't want to concern one another. Like, we wanted each other to know we were doing okay. Like, because like I was so used to hanging out with them all the time, and then we obviously went different ways, but obviously come back together for breaks. It's awesome. I thought maybe I should transfer, or maybe this was my initial thought first semester, or like, why do they make it look so easy, or like whatever. And I visited their schools, and then I found out like, oh, well, I love my school. Like, it made me realize, and definitely helped in a lot of ways, mentally. In reality, people struggle with their own things that might not be talked about all the time, and things take time. And now we talk about our struggles so far from freshman year, me and my hometown friends, and it's so similar. And we all think second semester has been better, me and all my friends collectively. Number 8, judgment and bullying slowly drifts. Good news. People are focused on themselves. In high school, bullying and judging is much more common because people are still finding themselves for the most part. In college, you're surrounded by so many people you don't even know. Like, you're walking around, who's this? Like, you don't know. Like, it's random people. And you might have familiar faces, but if I go to a campus where there's 16,000 people, obviously I'm not going to know everyone. You do not even have the time to judge people for the most part. I found it no longer exists. People are really focused on their lives more than ever now. Like, this is college, you're creating a pathway for yourself. Obviously that makes sense. I'm not saying it doesn't exist entirely in college though, however, it's much more common. An example from my experience, I was definitely worried I would be judged for sitting alone at the dining hall. It was definitely like a fear of mine, like at first. Everyone does it from time to time because of different schedules. In fact, sometimes it's nice to just have a little break to yourself, because you're seeing your friends constantly in college. Like, you're going to each other's rooms. You're always, it's like your second family. So yeah. Number 9, this is not talked about at all. Whether it be seminars, anything, I barely hear about it. Finding balance in foods is so important. Nutritious food recipes to have like healthy snacks in your dorm. There is so many out there that you can like come up with. Go to the grocery store, communicate with your roommate. me and my roommate have been doing like cucumbers and hummus or something like that. And it's really a great way to get nutrients and stuff when you don't always have that at your hands. Get creative in the dining hall. I've definitely made some interesting things, like they have quinoa in the salad toppings area, and so I'll like take the quinoa, get some like veggies and put it on there, hummus, all that. It's really good, and people haven't even thought of it, so kudos to me, but just kidding. But you need to make sure you don't just go for your favorite meal in the dining hall. Try new foods. Like, yes, the pizza looks good, but don't have pizza every night. Me and my friends joke about that, but yeah. Number 10, social and emotional well-being is just as important as academic. I noticed once I found good friends and got involved, I really grew. I focused on myself and grew more confident as a result. I was able to focus more on academics, and my grades improved like overall. First semester I still worked on my academics, but it definitely improved, and I was able to focus more on that rather than in my head like, oh, I need to find my people, I need to do this and this. It's hard to focus on both all the time. And then a Yale study confirms our new findings provide a robust evidence and a deeper understanding of the effectiveness of SEL, positive effects that matter for student success in the short and long term across the K through 12 academic lifespan and across a range of SEI programs and outcomes. Definitely, there's studies to back this up, and I talked about this in my meeting with the chief and the representatives, and they think it's definitely become more relevant today. Social and emotional well-being, it's always been important, but it's definitely been more of a highlight. Yeah. And then my last thing is, you got this. This is your time to shine, and I believe in you. You are stronger than you think. I just put some memes on the bottom, and yeah. And then my last thing that I want you guys all to know is to get in contact with me. In the next slide, I have my contact information. Whether you're going to UNH or not, I'd love to talk to you guys. My personal email, I could talk to you about anything, literally reach out if you have a random question about college or even high school. I don't care. I love talking to people. It's a great thing. So, great connection, and my UNH email is it's listed here. And then another side note I had was definitely check out the Jesse Lewis Choose Love movement. It's from I definitely talked about this with the representatives because they're advocates for it. But yeah, it's been great talking to you guys, and I hope you guys get a lot out of this. Thank you.